Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan. I'm a former Royal Marines Commando, and today we're going to be reacting to how US snipers, tankers, Navy sailors and more are trained. This is all to do with boot camp. It's from the channel Insider Business. It's an absolutely massive video, so there's going to be many reactions to this, guys, if they so allow it. We're going to see after this one, and if you see me doing more, then obviously we're allowed, guys. But before we get into it, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. This is a massive compilation of videos, guys, so I'm really looking forward to learning an awful lot about the US military, holistically speaking. And yeah, drop comments below, troops. That's what it's all about. Thanks for being here. Let's get straight into it then. Boom. Okay, let's see what this is all about.
This is boot camp, where we find out what it takes to serve in the U.S. military, from the challenges new recruits face in Navy boot camp, to advanced training that prepares soldiers to be Army tankers and Cav Scouts. We begin with what Army snipers go through in sniper school.
Right, so I'm really excited to see how the snipers are trained in the US military. The Royal Marines Sniper Acquaint and course is among one of the best courses on the planet. That's not just me saying it because I was a Royal Marine. That's because it's just widely accepted and known as one. So I wonder how much the United States one compares to this. It's going to be very interesting.
These soldiers are training to be U.S. Army snipers. Before this 7-week training course is done, more than half of them will be dropped from training.
I think when you actually get down here on the ground and you're actually performing the role of a sniper, it's a lot different from what a lot of people would instantly think. Most of the time you're laying somewhere you don't want to lay for way longer than you thought you would be. And sometimes it's fruitless and sometimes it's not.
You know what? That's funny you said that. So that goes for a lot of military training and a lot of things that you do in the military. It's we had a phrase in the Royal Marines, and I'm guessing it's the same in most militaries: hurry up and wait, i.e. most of what you're doing is a lot of nothing, but be ready to be very busy very quickly. It can get extremely intense very quickly in the military, and that's one thing I would always say, bear in mind. Sniper training. Now, although I didn't go through sniper training myself in the Royal Marines, I know plenty of guys, friends of mine, that did, and it's very tough. It's arduous. It tests all of your basic soldiering skills to a more advanced level. They're just all around good soldiers, okay? These are the guys you want on your team because they're more thoroughly trained. It's very good hard course, guys, and there is a lot of waiting about in certain elements of it, so you've got to have patience doing this job, troops. It's very difficult indeed.
This is the U.S. Army Sniper Course.
Let's go, guy. Keep moving.
Where soldiers from the Army and National Guard learn essential skills in sniper fieldcraft and marksmanship.
That is a, what is that, Remington Defense? That looks like an awesome sniper rifle. These things weigh a ton as well, guys. I'm not sure if the Remington Defense does, but man, I would love to shoot one of these things one day. Maybe when I visit the States. You guys can hook me up.
Soldiers leaving here are going to leave a more lethal soldier than they were prior to arriving.
There are more than 2,000 snipers currently serving in the U.S. Army.
Wow.
Their primary mission? Placing long-range precision fire on key targets. But being a sniper goes beyond pulling a trigger.
Let's go!
Insider spent 2 days at the U.S. Army Sniper Course at Fort Benning, observing different classes at various stages of training, including marksmanship, range estimation, target detection, and stalks.
So
to be accepted into the sniper.
Stalking is something that you do in normal infanteering, guys, okay? You do this as part of your basic infantry training. I'm not sure if the US Army does, but I certainly did a bit of this. The snipers, they just do an awful lot more of it, okay? And it's more sophisticated, it's more targeted and aimed towards snipering, all right? Long-range reconnaissance, all of this type of stuff. This is fantastic bread and butter stuff in terms of what you do as a sniper.
For course, prospective students must meet a range of prerequisites, which include passing a psychological evaluation and physical fitness test. achieving expert qualification with the M4 carbine, and receiving a recommendation letter from their battalion commander.
Attributes to make a good sniper to attend the United States Army Sniper Course would be a disciplined soldier, the ability to think on their feet, but the ability to grow through updated doctrine.
So basically what they're saying there, troops, is in order to do this, you've got to be a good soldier from the start, all right? There's no point just saying that's what I want to do. It's part of my intention to become a good sniper. You have to be recommended. You have to be good at what you do. And you have to be among the top performing guys, all right, to be able to do this. It's not something that you can just think, oh, I'll do that one day, okay? Was I a good enough shot to do this? I was when I first started the Royal Marines. Whether or not I could have passed the actual sniper course, I don't know, guys. Not a lot of people do. I was a marksman shooter, but to do this, you need to be pretty shit hot with your shooting overall, guys. It's not easy at all.
Although both male and females are eligible for entry, only one female student has attended the course, graduating in 2021.
Wow.
Training is split into two categories: fieldcraft and marksmanship.
All right, 5 minutes to dry fire begins now.
During marksmanship training, students get familiarized with three different rifles: the M2010 Enhanced Sniper Rifle, the M110 SAS, and the M107.
Shooting has always been the fun thing to do. You know, it's what everyone wants to go do. They want to go shoot.
Working in pairs, students learn to hit targets from 600 to 1,100 meters away, alternating between the...
That's not easy, troops, all right? I was a general purpose machine gunner, a little bit more aggressive than the snipers, all right? You can be a little less patient, all right? Which I was very impatient in the Marines. You still got to be quite accurate, but this thing's got a big spread, all right? You can get away with a lot more because you're putting a lot more heavy fire down. These guys have to be very accurate over longer distances, so it's interesting. I think I wouldn't have been able to do this based on the patience bit alone. I just wanted to go and get some, basically.
Shooter and spotter positions.
All right, so you're going to dial 5 point up, 5.4.
Before participating in graded events, the soldiers spend time on the range gathering and confirming dope or data on previous engagements, which includes temperature, altitude, humidity, and even the weight and velocity of their ammunition.
Give me a 7.8 elevation.
This data informs the shooters of how to adjust their rifles in order to hit their targets in any situation.
Wow.
More than target, stand by for wind.
Students also have to account for wind and how to properly read it on the path to their target.
Left point 2. All right, go to the target.
This is unbelievable.
So basically, they're just looking for the wind, what the elements are doing around them, and then giving wind calls based off that.
Left point 3.
Students use a unit of measurement called milliradians, or mils, represented by the hash marks inside the shooter's scope, to determine the wind's effect on their shot.
Left point 7. Left point 7.
Wow.
Left point 7.
So they're just telling the whole 0.5 left or 0.2 left, and it's actually going inside their reticle.
Those were all bad wind calls on my part. You are very bad. Like opposite direction of what you need to be calling the wind bed.
They have several opportunities to practice reading wind and gather dope with the M2010 ahead of their first graded...
That sounds weird, that they've got to gather dope before they shoot, but it just shows how lethal these individuals can be on the battlefield, all right? They are really taking the smallest minority, bits of information and putting it all into that one shot, okay? One shot, one kill is the aim, and it just shows on the battle space these guys are not to be messed with. That's why the United States military is among the best on the planet, if not the best in what they do.
record fire, which takes place during week 3.
I think this is the part of sniper school that everyone really likes that come here, because they get to shoot, and you don't get to do this a lot in a normal Army world.
0.8.
I personally love it. That's why I came to sniper school. I love shooting. It's the most time that I've ever gotten on the gun, so it's definitely good practice.
Target's up. Face. Walk.
Wind becomes an even bigger factor during movers training, where students practice firing at moving targets.
When you go down range, your targetry, i.e. the enemy, doesn't typically want to stay in one spot when you start shooting at them. So this helps them get into the right mindset and get them the tools and techniques so they can engage those targets effectively.
Shooting a moving target from any distance is tough. I can't imagine being a sniper and having to do that, bearing in mind they're taking in all these calculations at a minute level anyway. That's tough, troops.
Working in pairs, students fire at moving targets ranging from 200 to 600 meters away and have 2 minutes to move between firing positions.
One mil. I got one.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Shooters measure the target's speed in mils and must factor in their movement when determining where to aim their shot.
Lead's gonna be 0.8. Wind's moving from right to left.
So they're calling out those numeric values in mils based on what they should be holding left, right of the target as it moves across the range.
That's crazy.
What'd you hold? 1.2.
All this really entails is you getting an accurate hold in front of the target so that as it moves towards the center of your reticle, you will then fire preemptively so that the bullet will meet with the target as it moves across the range.
It's going to be a 0.7, going right to left.
This is excellent, man.
It can be very confusing determining what side of the target you should be holding on. Should I be adding mils to the target as I'm going with the wind? Should I be taking mils away as I'm going against the wind?
0.855.
It brings me back, guys, to when I was on the ranges, and it's these times that I miss the military most, you know. If you are wanting to join the military to do something like this, I would highly, highly recommend it, all right? Look at these young guys. That's the life to live, all right? It's a fantastic, fantastic opportunity, especially when you're younger, not really sure what to do in life. Get yourself fit, get yourself ready, get yourself in, enjoy it for what it is, because most of the time it's doing cool stuff like this, all right? Especially nowadays, all right? There's not that much going on in the world. Granted, we've got Ukraine and stuff. I get it. But, you know, in terms of, you could have 4, 5, 6 years and doing all this great stuff, you know, and not really being involved in anything too horrendous, okay? This is what it's all about, guys. I miss this stuff badly.
One.
Wind's going right to left.
0.8 hold. Your shooter and the spotter both need to be talking. They both need to be talking about where the wind's coming from and trying to come up with those numbers in their head, so that makes it a little bit easier to do that fast math in your head.
What are you going to go, 0.6 here now?
Yeah, left 0.5, left 0.6.
As we start to go deeper and deeper into the training, they get better at it, and we almost have a 100% pass rate with movers.
Wow.
So when you have a magazine in, you're going to want to settle it a little low.
Although roughly 50% of the sniper course involves firing weapons, marksmanship isn't the sole focus of training.
A sniper's secondary mission is to collect and report battlefield information, but 9 times out of 10, that's the mission you're going to end up doing.
In order to collect battlefield information undetected, students must master a wide array of fieldcraft skills, starting with how to properly construct a ghillie suit.
Believe it or not, guys, this is where most people fail. It's the real soldier element that people fail on, stalks and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's the same here, but in the British military, I know that you can pretty much get booted off course if you fail stalking, because if you're seen on the battlefield, then guess what? It's game over. It doesn't matter how much of a good shot you are. If your basic soldier skills are not to the adequate standard to be able to safely conceal yourself behind enemy lines in a position where you can get a shot on target and not be seen thereafter, you're useless to the wider military, okay? So it's really, really important. This fun as well, but very important to pass.
Ghillie suits are a type of camouflage clothing that snipers use to blend in with their environment.
We use natural vegetation as well. We tie that into our suit, and it helps us to blend in with whatever environment we could potentially be working in.
Students bring their own ghillie suits to the sniper course, which are usually constructed using an old uniform.
There's just seriously no rules to it. Anything you want, the sky's the limit, and it's honestly up to the user.
To help achieve that blending effect, netting and artificial camouflage, like jute, a fibrous plant-based material, are used to break up the wearer's silhouette.
You might want to try to extend this some here to break up this straight line.
Their ghillie suits are inspected at least 3 times while at the course.
We do a 360 inspection, ensuring that there are points that generally get blown out, such as the crotch of the pants, armpits, elbows, stuff like that. Those high wear and tear areas are reinforced, they're sewn down, they're glued. The ghillie suit's constructed with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It's not fun. You're just sewing through all your areas that could potentially rip. I'm taking a lot of time with really, really thick needles and yarn and a lot of glue.
So I have...
Yeah, that bit would probably piss me off a little bit, okay? I would get someone to do it or pay them guys, all right?
Probably 8 to 10 hours worth into my ghillie suit now, including all of the sewing and everything, and I'd say that it's probably around a 7 out of 10, but there's always more you can do to it.
If constructed properly, a ghillie suit can last a sniper their entire career.
Wow.
So durability is key. And it'll get put to the test during an event known as the Ghillie Wash.
Wow.
Get on your back.
The Ghillie Wash serves two purposes: to season and add color to the students' ghillie suits, and to test the suit's durability under pressure.
They know it's coming. Everybody who comes to the school talks about it, and they all know kind of what to expect.
Yeah, I love this.
Students start off by crawling and rolling across various terrains, including pavement, gravel, and sand.
That is brutal. I've done a couple of pavement thrashings before, and it's not nice, I tell you guys. You don't want to be doing leopard crawls on the hard concrete. Your knees and your elbows are going to get blown out straight away. It's hideous, but it's good at the same time, all right? Don't be put off. Don't be put off.
Before getting sprayed by a fire hose, which adds weight to their ghillie suits.
This is awesome.
We incorporate exercises to make sure that they don't have any kind of tearing seams and stuff like that. It's very, very important that you continue to push, and it's very, very important that you're able to get to and from wherever you're going with the small amount of people that you have.
Students then crawl on their stomachs and backs through muddy trenches to add color to their suits.
We're trying to get that color deeply rooted into fabric.
Crawling through the trench and under the sticks over there, I would say that would be the top smoker. It was like crawling on your back on a treadmill. You weren't going anywhere. It kind of sucked.
It's tough. I had mud in my eyes the whole time, so I just couldn't see anything. I was pretty much running blind, crawling blind across the roads and stuff.
Being physically fit and being able to endure any kind of physical activities is definitely very, very important because...
Yeah, this is the bread and butter of any soldier, guys. You got to be physically fit to be able to, endure the demands of life in the military. And especially if you think about it logically speaking, if you're a sniper, you are behind enemy lines. You are the guys who are supporting infanteers. You are out and about. You are literally engaging with the enemy, okay? And you've got to be prepared for that physically, mentally, spiritually. The only way you can do that is by going through this arduous activity. It's character building. It's fun. When you're young, you can take it. And when you're wanting to progress into the military, and determined to do so, you'll get through it. These things at the time are horrendous, but when looked back, arduous, horrible times are the ones that actually are cemented in your memory as happy memories, especially with me. When I look back at all of the hard, horrible stuff that I did are actually good memories for me. So suck it up, buttercup, and take it on the chin, and you'll learn to love it and remember it when you get older.
As a sniper, you're going to be moving further with more weight than the average soldier.
Yeah, and that's partly down to one main reason. Snipers get utilized for reconnaissance missions an awful lot due to the nature of them having that extra capability of being able to get eyes on deck, so to speak, from further distances away. That means you have to get behind enemy lines, normally ahead of the fighting troops. You're normally in some form of advanced party reconnaissance style format. So, yeah, self-sufficient, which means you've got to carry a lot more weight, and you've got to be prepared to stay on target for a long time. So that includes more weight as well. So it's not an easy job, troops.
For the final leg of the Ghillie Wash, they crawl through a 200-foot-long trench filled with water ranging in depth from a couple inches to a couple feet. With their ghillie suits now weighed down with water, students must make their way over walls and obstacles of varying heights, all while maintaining a low profile.
We have them low.
He just headbutted the plank that's red in color.
Crawling over any kind of obstacles and stuff like that, see if the area that they drag themselves on will possibly peel up. And again, any kind of stitching is going to rip.
Honestly, it felt really good, the cold water, because of how hot it was outside, but crawling over all of the rocks and the sand was definitely uncomfortable.
It is a very physical event, but it's completely necessary. We have to test out these ghillie suits to make sure they're going to withstand the test of time. Generally
Awesome.
across the board, you can usually see all smiles. Everybody's pretty happy. Everybody
There
has
you
their
go.
own little story of what happened to them.
It's good. I'm very filthy right
There you go. They've just said the same thing as what I've been highlighting, guys. All right. It might seem difficult at the time, which it is. It's meant to be, but you have the best times through the shit times. Trust me.
now. I have a lot of dirt in a lot of places.
With their ghillie suits seasoned, students are ready to continue with the rest of their fieldcraft training.
Eyes up.
During range estimation exercises, students must determine the distance to a given target using nothing but their eyes and rifle scope. Before the exercise begins, they take measurements of their target, which in this case was an instructor and a vehicle.
They get all the measurements from waist to top of the head, waist to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder, or from toes to top of the head, as well as multiple measurements on the vehicle itself so that they can measure out with their optic the size of the target at distance.
Eyes up.
During the exercise, students use only their eyes to estimate how far the target is at 10 different distances, varying from 300 to 1,000 meters.
They teach us brackets. If it's in the 1 to 200 meter bracket.
Yeah, I remember doing this, and it's surprising how accurate you can actually get. There's a few methods that you've got to use, and they're probably going to explain that right now. You can be really accurate.
200 to 300 meter bracket, and then we choose like if it's closer to 300 or to 200.
It's still a challenge to do by eye, but using the reticle, as long as you have proper measurements, it's all just math.
When using their scopes, students are taught to use the mill relation formula, which takes the height of the target in inches, multiplied by a constant, and then divided by the target's height in mils. The resulting number is the distance to the target in meters.
Wow.
To be successful, their estimates must be within 5% of the actual distance. And
see what I'm saying, guys? This is not easy stuff. Like, you can be off the course for failing with these numbers.
they must accurately record at least 14 out of the 20 ranges to pass their graded exercise.
That's not easy at all, guys.
Of the class we observed, 2 students failed. They have one more opportunity to pass, or they'll be dropped from the sniper course.
Oh man, that's tough
It's
to
an
take.
extremely important skill to be able to range estimate accurately as a sniper, because we may not be in an environment that is permissive enough to allow us to use technology to estimate our range to our target. So snipers need to know how to be able to measure and do the mill relation formula in order to determine their range to target.
True.
All right, turn around. Get in the prone. Eyes down.
During
so nerve-wracking doing this type of stuff as well, honestly.
target detection training, students scan a field in front of them for 10 military-related items that have been strategically hidden by instructors, some as small as a couple of inches.
Target detection is a sniper's ability to detect anomalies in their environment. We run them through a series of exercises here at the schoolhouse that reinforces their searching patterns, searching techniques, and their ability to actually pick up on anomalies.
Using their eyes, scopes, and binoculars, the class is given 40 minutes to search for the objects in a 10,000 square meter field.
I used to love doing this type of stuff. I was pretty good at it as well. I'm not sure about how good I would be now, but there is ways and means that you can actually become really good at it. You can tune your eye in to be able to visualize and see these things. There's a few things that you would use: shape, shine, silhouette, shadow, signature, all of those good stuffs are going to help you out with spotting these things in the in nature. Okay,
and must accurately locate and record at least 7 to be successful.
Honestly, it's only difficult if you're looking for items. If you don't look for something specific and you just scan the area, they'll pop out at you because the human eye hates patterns. So when you see a disruption in a pattern, it pops out at you.
Students are taught several scanning techniques and look out for various target indicators such as shine, shape, texture, and contrast to the background environment.
Hey, there you go. So very similar methods.
The human eye naturally scans left to right, top to bottom. And one thing that they hit on that was really big was scanning bottom to top, right to left. It kind of forces your mind to not go its natural path. You pick up things a lot easier.
I'm looking around this area right here and realizing the way the bark naturally looks. They see this natural difference right here where the pattern's messed up and there's no longer any bark. And focusing a little bit more on it, you're able to find the the texture of the plastic, color doesn't add up. It's not that gray or that black anymore. You got a little bit of a green.
That's
might
tough.
catch some kind of sheen coming off of it.
That is
Of
really
the class
tough.
we observed, one student failed and was dropped from the sniper course.
You'd be gutted going back to your unit, wouldn't you? Failing this. Hey, guys, anyway, we are like 24 minutes. Wow, that flew. Time flies when you're having fun, guys. I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm glad that there's actually quite a bit more left. Hopefully, don't get any problems with uploading this. But if we don't, I'm going to do the rest of this, guys. So, yeah. Please, please, please consider liking the video. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you want to see more of this type of stuff, I'll definitely react to it, guys. But nonetheless, stay tuned and I'll see you next time, guys. Peace out.